Hey everyone, nice to see you all again. So today we're going to do a drawstring bag like this. They've got loads and loads of uses. I've decided to do this project next because I've noticed that I just tend to shove my face mask in my handbag. And I think it'd be better to perhaps have a little bag to keep it in. I've made loads of these already, not just to sell. This one in particular is for when I make face wipes. I made a little bag for my face wipes to put them in to wash them so that they didn't get lost in the wash. Great for toys. Pickle has a whole load for toys. And fruit and veg. They're really good for fruit and veg. I'm sure you could use them any which way you wanted to, but they're the uses that I can think of off the top of my head that I've been using them for. There's a written sheet with all the instructions on my website if you want some written instructions. However, it's a really nice simple pattern. This is my piece of paper that I use. Look, a little bit of scruffy paper. It's literally a sheet of A4 and that will give you at the end a bag that size. So I tend to, if I want to make a bigger bag, I tend to just I'll stick 2 sheets of A4 together to start with an A3 piece, and then I end up with a bigger bag. Or you can just cut it to the size that you want without a pattern. You don't particularly need a pattern, but because I tend to make a lot of stuff, I find it easier to have something I can pin down and cut around. So something to note on this pattern: cut on fold line. You'll probably see it quite often on patterns. It means that you need to fold the fabric and then use that as one of the edges, and you don't cut that edge. So in the end you will end up with a piece of fabric twice the size. Okay, and that's why it says cut on fold. So using a nice bit of vintage fabric this morning. It's a massive piece of vintage fabric. This one's alright, doesn't particularly need ironing. Fabric doesn't always need ironing, but if it is really crumpled, do give it an iron because it'll make your life a lot easier. Right, and we are gonna just fold it so that I've got my folded edge. And then we're gonna pin it down, making sure that the line, that my arrow edge is on a folded edge. Like so. Ba-dum! And I'm gonna stick in literally 4 pins. That's all you need, just 4, 1 in each corner. You don't need a million pins. It's worth trying to just fold as much fabric as you need. Okay, try and not use too much fabric, because the less fabric you use, the more stuff you're going to be able to make. And I've literally just adjusted mine because I just realised, because I've been concentrating on talking to you guys, that I was wasting quite a lot of fabric, so I've just folded mine again. Right, so get that edge lined up, 4 pins in, that's all you need. Like that. Okay, and then literally you just want to cut around 3 of the sides, not all 4. Fabric scissors. Remember what I've said in other videos, your fabric scissors are for cutting fabric and nothing else. Right, so you'll notice that on mine, I've just done it. I've folded just enough fabric for mine, for my pattern piece. So I'm gonna cut just the 3 edges that need cutting, nice long cuts. Okay, and then literally that little bit there is all that's going to be wasted. Right, take your pins out. Okay, so the next stage that we're going to do, once we've got it cut out, use a ruler or a tape measure if you've got one, either's fine, and we're going to measure 3 centimeters down from one of the long edges. It doesn't matter unless you've got a directional pattern, so unless you've got something that goes up a particular way, don't worry about it. Measure down 3 centimeters and do a little snip. If you're more comfortable making a mark, do so. Tailor's chalk is the best for this. This is Tailor's chalk. The difference with Tailor's chalk is it washes out when you wash something. You can get it in a range of colours, yellow, pink. I've got red, white and orange. Ideally use a colour that stands out but isn't too obvious. So I'm going to use orange today on my fabric. And I'm going to measure down 3 centimetres and do a little mark on each side. So 3 centimetres, do a little mark. Do the same on the other side. Do it on the wrong side of your fabric. Or even easier, leave it folded and then you just need to do it once. Make your little mark and then do a little snip like this. This will all become clear in a little bit. Do a little snip. And then what I want you to do is take it over to the ironing board, fold it down by 1 centimetre, press it. Fold the edges in, sorry. So where you've created this little flap, fold that in. And that's just going to create like a little hem here. And then do that on each side, press it, then fold it down and iron 1 centimetre, then fold it down again and iron another centimetre. Okay, so I've been and pressed it on the ironing board. I've folded my little edges in and then I've turned it over by 5 centimetres, then I've turned it over again and I've pressed it to create my channel. Now I'm just going to stick in a few pins, and this time I'm going to put them in running parallel with my seam and I'm going to take them out as I sew. Before you sew, double check that you've got your fabric the right way around, because if you haven't, you're going to be severely miffed when you realise that it's the wrong way around. Okay, so double check your fabric's the right way around. Take it over to your sewing machine and you want to do a 1 centimetre wide line of sewing all the way along there. Okay, and then you need to try and be as accurate as possible, because if you're wobbling all over the place, your cord might not get through at the end. So make sure you're sewing nice and straight and you want a 1 centimetre width. I'm going to show you how to do this and make sure that you've got a nice straight even seam along this edge. So my sewing machine is almost always set up with my sewing machine needle on the left hand side. That's not always possible with a sewing machine. I like my machine set up like that because it makes my life easy. It means I know I've got a centimetre and I just have to make sure that my fabric is in line with the edge of the foot. And for me, that is just the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to turn my balance wheel, which is the big wheel on the right hand side of your machine, so that my needle's in the fabric. Go forward a few stitches, go back, and then whiz to the end. Doing it like that means, really simply, that I can make sure that I sew nice and straight the whole way. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a French seam, because it's a really nice way to finish a product, but also it's this is a good project to learn this seam on, and once you've done it you'll find you use it all the time because it's a really nice way to finish a product off. So we want to put wrong sides together, right, and then we're going to put it back under our machine. If you want to, if you think it's going to make your life easier, stick a couple of pins in. You really don't need many because you're not working with something massive. So line your edges up, stick a couple of pins in. And I'm literally going to put one in the top, one in the bottom corner, and then one in the end corner. And as you can see, because of the way we've cut our fabric, we've got one less seam to do. So I'm going to line up the edge of my needle with the little notch in the middle of my foot. When I get to the corner, I'm going to turn the balance wheel so that my needle's in the fabric, lift my presser foot so I can go around the corner. And then when I get to the end, I'm going to do a couple of reverse stitches, and that's it. That's the first stage of a French seam done. Right, take my pins out, and I'm now going to go and press this so that my finished product is inside out. Okay, so I'm going to go and press this, so this little seam here So I'm going to turn my bag round and I'm going to press it so the seam is on the inside. Okay, so I've pressed it. So what you now won't be able to see is, so when your product's the wrong way round, your unfinished edge of your seam is going to be trapped in a line of stitching here. Like on our finished bag, look, see? It's trapped. You can't see anywhere the raw edge of the fabric, and it's a really nice, neat finish. So, because of the way we've sewn, because we've sewn close to the edge to start with, you shouldn't need to trim any of your seams. If any of your seams are a little bit wide, get a pair of scissors and trim them down so that they are less than 5mm. Now I'm going to match the edge of my fabric up with the edge of my foot, so that I'm sewing about a 1cm width seam. And I'm going to do just like I did before. And the job's a good one. And when I turn it round, look, you can't see the seam on the outside and you can't see the seam on the inside. Okay, so I've just shown you how to do a French seam, and as I mentioned before, I love French seams. They're a really nice way to finish off a seam on a garment. And I actually prefer it to using an overlocker. I've got an overlocker, but if I'm making clothes, I tend to use a French seam. I just feel that it gives a higher quality finish, and it's actually a traditional finish that would be used on a haute couture garment. So, you know, why not? Might as well push those skills a little bit further. Okay, so when it comes to putting the cord through, you've got two options. I tend to like using this grey cord. I just like the way it looks. And for me making products, it's a lot quicker to do. I can just thread it up with a nice big bodkin, a nice big needle, or something like this. I don't even know what this is called. I just inherited it, but it's perfect. Anything with a nice big needle hole. Okay, even like the plastic knitting ones are great for this. And you can either use some cord, and I've got some cord here, and just thread it through your needle. You're going to want to make sure that you can thread it through to begin with. If you've not got a needle big enough, use a safety pin. Okay, that'll work just as well. Tie a knot in the end and use a safety pin. You're going to want about the width of your bag times 2. So our final bag is about 20cm wide, so 40, plus another about 10cm, so 50cm in total. If you've made a bag the same size as mine, you're going to want about 50cm. Otherwise, you want double the width and then about 10cm to make sure you've got enough to pull it through and tie a knot, and it not be too long when you've got your bag open, so it looks like that when your bag's open. And then simply use your needle and push it round and through, and it's that easy. Now, however, if you've not got any cord lying around, there is another option. The other option is to make yourself some cord, or to make yourself your own little pull. And that is also dead simple. So there you go. I've literally just done that in 30 seconds. I've just put it on my big needle and pushed it through. And that's it, it's done. Tie a knot in the end and I've got a piece of cord threaded through. If, however, you've not got any cord lying around and you're trying to just use what you've got, you could use a piece of ribbon, bias binding, anything. I've got a long strip of fabric, and I'm going to show you how to make just a piece of like a folded pull. So I've said to you I want 50cm. Because I'm sewing this, I'm going to make it a little bit longer, give myself a little bit of seam allowance at the end. So I'm going to cut myself 55. So there. Put yourself a little tailor's chalk if you want. Cut it. And actually, this is too wide for what I need. I only need half this width. And a really easy way to make sure you're cutting straight is to put a little cut and then just tear your fabric. So this is 12 centimeters, and I want a finished width of about 1, so I want 4. So I'm going to measure 4 centimeters and do a little cut. And then it's quicker. It's not necessarily lazy, but it is a lot quicker, and it means that you know you've got a straight edge. I'm just going to go like that and pull it, and then I've got a nice strip. Now I need to iron this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold in each side and iron it, and then fold it again and iron it again, and sew down here. Okay, I'm going to go and iron it and show you what I meant exactly. Okay, so I've ironed it. I've pressed it once, so I've pressed it the first time, so I've got 2, so both the edges are in, and then I've pressed it again and folded it so that all my raw edges are tucked in on the inside. Now a nice easy way to get a nice neat end on as well is to fold the end in by 1 centimeter and then fold it in on itself like that, and then literally every raw edge, every cut edge of fabric is hidden. And I'm just going to stick a pin in that just there to hold it all in place for me. And I'm going to do the same at the other end. You could do this in a contrasting fabric, you could do it in the same fabric, you can do this in whatever fabric floats your boat. Right, and then we're going to do exactly the same as we did for the channel that we sewed along our bag. You're going to go to your sewing machine, you're going to get your machine set up so that it's going to sew a nice centimetre, and you're going to choose a point on your sewing machine to follow to make sure you're sewing straight. I'm going to go and do that nice and quick. There's no point in showing you again, I've already shown you once. Alright guys, so like I said before, great little project for putting your face masks in if you're out and about, or anything you want to store, and it's a perfect way to learn a French seam. So grab yourself a cuppa, watch the video again so make sure you know what you're doing, and then happy sewing. Bye!